Hi guys, I hope you're doing really, really well and practicing incredible self-care. Um, in this video, what I'm going to talk about is is a narcissist, did the narcissist really love you? So a lot of people are like, did the narcissist really love me? Are they capable of love? And this is kind of interesting. One of my coaching clients sent me a video and it was from the narcissist perspective. And I think it really makes a lot of sense. So I will share that. And this is just sort of anecdotal or based on the video that I watched, and then also just on some of my own opinions on this, and then a little bit on the research. So did they ever love you? Well, I don't think they loved you in the way that sort of normal, healthy people sort of define love. So I think with most of us, like, we realize we're pretty, aware that when you get in a relationship, the first phase is the honeymoon phase. And most of us know that that's short-lived. That's maybe 6 months, maybe a year. And then mature relationships develop into, sort of a phase that doesn't involve infatuation, limerence, eros, lust, all those things. And it kind of matures into a more fully developed, sort of emotionally intimate relationship where we really like each other, we really respect each other, and we really sort of start building on that, on like mutual respect and like kindness, consideration, and we realize that that sort of honeymoon stage is totally temporary, and it always is with, I think, all romantic relationships. And with healthy, mature relationships, it matures into something that's like far deeper. It's far more abiding. It's much more long term, right? So in that, you can look at a lot of friendships that you might have that are sort of like that too. But I think with the mind of a narcissist, because you're dealing with somebody who has like this, like very sort of low level of emotional intelligence, it's almost like you're dealing with like a toddler brain, right? And I think because of the way that whatever trauma they experienced or spoiling, sometimes they've just been spoiled and objectified and, made into this golden child by the parents. It's not always abuse that I think creates narcissism. Certainly can be. But I think what happens is they sort of get stuck in that like infantile sort of toddler phase. So for them, during the sort of love bombing, or idealization, I think that they really actually do think that they're in love. Like, I don't think that it's all like total duplicity, but I think they also know that they're sending this false self, right? So in the beginning, they're like, love bombing, they're doing everything for you, they're putting you on a pedestal, they're going out of their way to make time for you, they're really consequent to the relationship, they'll do anything, they'll sometimes during this phase, of course it's very rushed, they'll propose marriage, or they'll want to get married right away, or they'll want to have kids or whatever. Like, they're very and not all narcissists operate this way, but some of them definitely do. So that's kind of like during the love bombing, right? I'm not saying that all narcissists want to marry you right away, because some are like more of the slow con, but a lot of them will. So you just have to remember that during this phase, they are sending, this false self, right? And it's very exhausting because, it's a different mask for you that, they learned from maybe their old source of supply, like everything that person wanted, or they've learned by watching movies, or what they think is like your ideal partner. And they listen to you, they mirror you, they try to figure out who you are so that they can send this like ideal partner. But they're not sending their true selves, right? They're sending a representative. They're sending a false self to the relationship. And so it's very exhausting to have to do that, right? And I think what happens is that something happens in them. The video described, it was a narcissist himself, and he talked about how like a light switch will turn off. And like, I think that's kind of what happens. Like, a light switch turns off, and the narcissist is like tired of sending this false self. And then that, coupled with the realization that you are human and imperfect, and they start to like fixate on all your flaws, because they like they have this emotional maturity of a child, right? So, it's this, they are sick. I think that somewhere deep down inside of most narcissists, they know that, because maybe it's based on all their past relationships failing, they know that if you really get to know who they really are, you're not going to like them, because they're typically pathologically self-centered. They have anger issues, whether that's silent rage with the silent treatment and stonewalling, or if that's more overt rage. Like I think that deep down they know that you're going to be repulsed by them if they send who they really are. So that's why they have to love bomb. They have to keep up this mask, because they want to get you to fall in love with that false self so that they have you hooked, right? And then of course during the devaluation phase, you're like, wait, where was that wonderful person? Who's this new person that I'm dealing with? Or it can be very slow and subtle over time with the covert narcissist. So like ultimately, do they think that they're in love? Probably, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a spectrum. I think some that are more sociopathic know that it's a ruse, but I think they actually think that you're the one that's going to be the perfect human. You're the one that's going to give them that perfect love that's going to save them or make them feel whole and complete. But the challenge with that is the truth is that nobody from the outside can make us feel whole and complete. That is an inside job. Like our job as humans is to become whole and complete, without needing the external validation, without needing somebody else to like complete us. And I do know that goes against the Hollywood notion that, your soulmate like completes you. I'm not saying that people shouldn't develop wonderful teamwork and partnership and, living a life together where they're on a journey together. But I think in terms of, this idea that somebody is going to be the perfect love that's going to make everything okay for you, like that's a fantasy. And I think that narcissists are very much into that fantasy. So like, this is my soulmate, and then they love bomb, and during that idealization and that love bombing phase, they probably think that they're in love, right? Unfortunately, yeah. And so you'll notice too, like if you were the old source of supply and you tried to contact the new source of supply to like let them know, hey, I think you're in a relationship with a narcissist. The problem with that is that they are being love bombed, so they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to believe what you have to say, because it's intoxicating and they're being mirrored. And that person is, the narcissist is giving them like everything that makes them feel, amazing, right? Which is what you had, which is what sucked you into the relationship in the first place, right? And so they aren't going to believe you because they think that love bombing is real love. So I don't know if this is helpful for you, but that's just something that I kind of got from watching a video and some information. So yeah, they probably think that they loved you, but are they capable of real love? I don't think so. Not if love is, not to get all biblical, but according to Corinthians, it's like love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, love is not jealous. There's a whole list of things. If you look up, I think it's Corinthians 1:13 or something, if you look it up, and whether you're religious or not is irrelevant. It's just a really beautiful definition of love, that it doesn't want harm to others. It wants the best for somebody else. It's patient, it's kind, it doesn't envy, it isn't jealous. And if you go down that list, I think you're going to see that the narcissists have everything that's the antithesis of that. They're impatient, they're unkind, they're envious, they're jealous. You go down the list. So if you think of love in those terms, I don't think that they really loved you, not in a sort of higher, not in a kind of higher love or a selfless love. They loved you for what you could provide for them, how you made them look, how you made them feel in the beginning. But that is short-lived. You're never gonna, your supply, no matter how great it is it's never going to sustain somebody who's insatiable. They always need more supply, more supply, more supply, more supply. So it doesn't matter how much you truly love them, they are never going to be satisfied, which is why they're always cheating, and they're always, usually cheating, and why they always have to like get some new source of supply. I mean, these people are, you could say that they're emotional tourists. So I don't know if that's helpful for you, but hopefully so, and hopefully you guys are thriving and practicing incredible self-care. Thanks. Bye.